62nd anniversary of our independence. I would say Nigeria has come a long way since the attainment of our independence. 62 years ago, when you have seen where our democracy is at today. Nation building is a continuous process, and I'm happy to see that since 1999, the politicians and indeed Nigerians have been strengthening democracy in our country. Of course, there are pitfalls as we went along. We made mistakes, and gradually our politicians are correcting these mistakes. And also the electorates are also learning by the day. The younger generations are also getting involved in nation building, in that they are showing interest and coming out into politics in all fields. We could see even a young man as about 30, 35, 40, trying to present himself as a presidential candidate. I think we have come a long way in nation building. However, some of the setbacks that we are having, some electorates are still selling their votes, and politicians are also encouraging the selling and buying of these votes. I think this is a negative part of what we're experiencing, and I thought Nigerians and indeed all of us should put hands on deck to ensure that this phenomenon is brought to an end. We should be doing more on the political theater. If you look at Nigeria today, going back 60 years ago, you will see that there are many NGOs that are all coming out and all for the sake of Nigeria. And each one of these NGOs is working for the betterment of the country. I say again, the younger generation, people like you, are getting more interested in politics, and now we have politics where the substance, not chasing shadows, that is being practiced. So I think that's what I'll have to say. Indeed, we should be doing better than what we are doing today. Politics, especially in a developing country, and indeed the world over, is now becoming a matter of resources. Unfortunately, the younger generation haven't got much resources as much as the older generation who have been in politics. This is one of the challenges I think the younger generation are facing. But hopefully, with the advent of social media and technology, I think a lot can be done in order to disabuse the minds of people who are entrenching and depending on their pockets in order to play war politics. I think with the technology, the politics of these years should be of ideas and so on and so forth. So gradually, it's a big challenge, but like you people say, the struggle continues. I hope one day we'll be able to overcome this phenomena. Well, unfortunately, people keep shouting restructure, restructure. Whom or what are you restructuring? There is always, even in your own house, people will call a crime of marginalization. It's a matter of how you manage the system and so on and so forth. Like I said about the Constitution, there is no Constitution that is perfect. Of course, when you look at things that you perceive to be wrong, there is always ways how to make amends. This is why we have the State Assembly. This is why we have the National Assembly. These are people we have elected to go and administer us and make laws for us. Let them look into all these issues with passion, not with selfish ideas. Let them think about Nigeria, not of my state, not of my village, and so on. I'm sure if we really have the right caliber of people thinking about the country, there is always going to be one problem or the other. So let's sit down analytically, look at the things, and try to make sure that there is equity, justice, and fairness. That's all we need in the country. Well, like I say, in any society, there will always find problems here and there. And the only way is to sit down and look at, again, I repeat, look at the problem and try to see as much as possible how you will resolve these issues. Of course, at any one point of time, you will find people with grievances one way or the other. So it is left for the authorities and also those involved in education system to look at it and try to see how these issues can be resolved. It is unfortunate that for the last 7 months, children and grandchildren are at home because of the problem between ASU and the government. I thought by now the points made by both sides, the government and ASU, should have been sorted out and so on and so forth. Hopefully, I hope we are learning and this issue will become a matter of history. I take you back maybe about 10 years ago, in the whole of West Africa, we had problem where most of our countries in the sub-region, you find that there was problem in the education system. I don't know if some of you will recollect during that period. Most of our educational systems throughout West Africa were grounded because of the misunderstanding. Some countries have been able to find a solution, and I'm absolutely sure Nigeria will find a solution into all this crisis. Well, no matter who writes the Constitution, it is how it is being practiced. There is no Constitution that in the world that is completely 100% correct. And it's unfortunate that people who participated to draw the 1999 Constitution are not being appreciated the work they did. If you look at 1979 Constitution and 1999 Constitution, there isn't too much difference. When we were trying to draw the Constitution for the 1999, jurists led by late Justice Nika Toby went around the country to sample opinions on the way forward on the Constitution. And thankfully, we were able to give a Constitution that has been in operation for the last 22 years. And happily, the National Assembly and indeed Nigerians have found the need to fine-tune some of these parts of the Constitution, and I think this is going on in the National Assembly. So no matter what Constitution you write, is the way you implement the Constitution and also the way that Constitution is respected. Happily, since 1999, we, despite the challenges, it is the 1999 Constitution that is in operation today, and that's what our National Assembly is working to ensure, to clear some of the gray areas they find in the Constitution. Well, first and foremost, I wish us peace. Peace and peace and peace again. Because without peace, there wouldn't be any country. Without peace, none of us would be here talking today. So I want to wish us well as we celebrate the 62nd anniversary of our independence, and appeal to all Nigerians to put hands on deck to ensure that we have a peaceful country. And as we go into 2023 election campaign, that there should be a campaign of calumny, there shouldn't be abusive words in our campaign, and as much as possible, a campaign of tolerance, because each politician is trying to sell his manifesto or that of his party. So, you know, we cannot all belong to the same party. Of course, even if we do, we have our differences and we have got our thoughts of ideas. So it is all together that we will get together and try to ensure that we have a country. And so my prayers is that we have a peaceful campaign which will eventually lead into a peaceful election. So I want to wish us well, and I hope the electors will also bear in mind that it is their franchise to ensure that they vote people of caliber of their choice, and for God's sake, nobody should go and sell his vote. Unfortunately, I was listening to one radio program this morning. Somebody was saying that he's ready to sell his vote because he is poor, there is no money in the country. Fortunately, again, somebody countered him and said, look, you sell your vote, how much is the money are you going to get, and how long it will take you? Don't sell your franchise. So I'm happy people are realizing and also are fighting and educating people not to sell their votes. Unfortunately, the 1999 Constitution removed the role of the traditional institution. On hindsight, well, they can do quite a lot in order to make sure the system works. So I think if the society feels and our members feel the need to bring them back to the system, so be it.
So lastly now, what would be the last this thing now is that your advice in ending channel?
Yes, my name is Abdulsalami from Channels Television. Usually, of recent, you have been seeing a lot of presidential candidates coming into United States, storming United States. So have you in any way endorsed a particular candidate?
No.
I endorse all of them.
Lastly, Your Excellency, as I just come in, this sounds very hopeful to me that.
Well, security is everybody's business. Unfortunately, within the citizens, you have people who are aiding and abetting a security system. We have, unfortunately, amongst us, unpatriotic Nigerians who have become informants to the people perpetrating insecurity in this country. I pray and I hope that such people will retrace their steps and make sure that they desist from what this unholy practice they are doing. Now, when you are talking of security, all of us, we know that our security personnel are overstretched. So we need to recruit more security personnel, equip them, and as much as possible, try to give them information that will assist in improving the security system we have in the country. So my advice is that people, as much as possible, they should trust the security agencies. As much as possible, try and give information that will assist our security personnel in securing our country. So with this, I want to wish Nigeria well as we celebrate 62nd anniversary. And I pray that we have a peaceful campaign that will culminate in a peaceful election. And also, when we have elections, that the contestants, if they feel the election is free and fair, they will accept the results and concede defeat. Because I find out in developing countries, nobody accepts defeats. You will always find people complaining that they won, but they have been rigged out. So I hope very soon we'll come to realize that there is always going to be a winner and a loser. And once you become a winner, then everybody becomes your own, and you do justice and fairness to all and sundry. So I wish us well, I wish us peace. May God continue to bless Nigeria, protect us, and help us in nation building. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Excellency.